Atheism completely undermines science, which might sound like a bold claim, but I can actually demonstrate it just using atheist arguments themselves. Recently, Alex O'Connor, who's an atheist on YouTube, interviewed Sean Carroll, who's also a scientist and an atheist. And Alex O'Connor sets the discussion up by describing the fine-tuning argument, and then he lays out some of the potential answers to it, or what the possibilities to explain it are, and then lets Sean Carroll riff on it. And the answer Sean Carroll gives is absolutely amazing, because if you think about it for even just a second, you'll notice there's an entailment to what he's saying that completely undermines science and casts doubt on his justification for atheism in the first place, which is his scientism or his scientific worldview. But the worldview is impossible just based on what he says. So let's check it out and see what he has to say about it.
Well, I know you know about the fine-tuning argument for the existence of God, and I don't want to just do the boring thing of just asking you exactly what you think about that. But specifically, when people talk about this, the problem that we're confronted with is that the universe abides by a certain number of constants which seem very, very finely balanced, to the degree that if you were to increase gravity or its strength by like the most unfathomably tiny amount, the universe would all collapse in on itself, and the reverse is true as well. And so we're kind of typically given three options here to explain why it is that the universe is finely balanced to allow atoms to form and planets and stars and stuff. One is it's just by chance, which seems incredibly unlikely. One is that God did it, which seems maybe a bit too easy. And the third is necessity, that there's some kind of reason why it had to be that way, or maybe not a reason why it had to be that way, but it just had to be that way.
Well, I think that two things. One is you left off a very promising explanation, which is the multiverse, where different parts of the universe have apparently different values for the constants.
I just want to interrupt briefly because this part cracks me up. Alex O'Connor literally says one of the options for fine-tuning is chance, and Sean Carroll's like, "Oh, you forgot to mention the multiverse," which is just a flavor of the chance, the chance. And I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but look at Alex O'Connor's face and just see how he kind of almost seems a little disappointed in what Sean Carroll said. And bear in mind, Sean Carroll is like an atheist darling. The fact that he didn't pick up on that, whatever. Doing things live is difficult, but he should have come prepared.
One is you left off a very promising explanation, which is the multiverse, where different parts of the universe have apparently different values for the constants, and therefore we're going tautologically to find ourselves in a part of the universe which has conditions accessible to life, right? I mean, there was never any chance that we would be having this conversation in a part of the universe which did not allow for the existence of life. So really the only question is the universe big and diverse enough to allow for life anywhere, or did we just get lucky, like you said? I think that the most likely explanation for the apparent fine-tuning of constants of nature is some kind of diversity within the environments that exist within our universe. It might be literally the cosmological multiverse, where you have regions very far away where conditions are different. It might be something more subtle in the space of quantum worlds, in a many worlds version of quantum mechanics, or something like that. But that seems to be a very simple way out of the apparent fine-tuning questions.
Sean Carroll just killed science. His answer to fine-tuning is that our universe is so vast and dynamic that any possible physical configuration that you can imagine exists. So this does solve the fine-tuning problem by raising the probability of life-permitting physics to 100%, but what Sean doesn't realize is that he's created another problem, which is that this also raises the probability of every other physically imaginable thing to 100%. So in the universe that Sean imagines, the universe is so vast that anything, no matter how improbable, becomes probable. Not just fine-tuning, but practically anything. Think about it this way. In our universe, if you want to know the chances of getting tails 100 times in a row when flipping a coin, you can calculate it and make predictions. In this case, we know it's practically impossible. But in Sean's hypothetical universe, the chance that a living being could somewhere flip a coin 100 times and get tails 100 times in a row is now 100%. So what becomes impossible, or what was impossible, now becomes undeniably probable. So now when you try to make observations or do experiments, basically if you want to do science and have experiments that are repeatable, you simply can't do it. At least if Sean's right anyway. Everything you observe now is just as likely to be a coincidence as it is to be a result of testable physics. You have no way to discriminate. So Sean has inadvertently killed science with this. And this is a problem with denying God at all costs. You're not going to consider the entailment of your skepticism, and so you run into problems like this without even thinking about it. even though it only takes a minute of thought. And it's ironic because for atheists like Sean, they would say they're atheists because of science, not realizing that because of atheism, they can't trust science. And so it just defeats itself. And in the end, you can have science or you can have atheism, but you can't have both. It's God that provides a reasonable foundation for science, and atheism which undermines it.